ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या संप्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। We were in the fourth chapter, third Brahmanam, which is the Swayam Jyotis Brahmanam. And in this we had covered up to this point, correct? To 17. So in this Brahmanam, from the sixth Vakya onwards, we saw that the Atma itself was introduced as a Jyoti. And this Atma Jyoti was also shown as something separate from the body mind sense complex. Dehadi Vyatiriktatvam, Karyakarana Sanghata Vyatiriktatvam was shown. That was the main thing which was established first, that there is a Jyoti which is Atma Jyotis. This Atma Jyotis is the one in whose light everything is happening, all the activities, even when all other external lights are not there. And this Atma Jyotis is separate from the body mind sense complex. First, this was established, and then this Atma Jyotis only actually through the Upadhi starts whatever Dhyayati Iva, Lelayati Iva, all those things also were introduced, correct? The Vijnana Mayaha means Vijnana Prayaha. This Atma Jyotis itself is confused with the intellect and the mind because they are both together, and the mind also functions in the light of this Atma Jyotis only. Therefore, it is not easy to do discrimination, separate them out and understand. Therefore, this Atma itself is taken as Vijnana Mayaha, and the analogy and all was given for that, correct? Like even that there is a emerald or a stone which is shining, and if you put it into the milk also becomes of that color, correct? And if you shake the milk, it looks like that light is shaking and things like that. But really nothing is happening to that stone or its light. So like that, this all the activities, everything are happening in the mind and in the body, etc. But it is taken as though the Atma itself, the Atma Jyotis itself is doing all that. Now that is the Anyonya Adhyasa part or the Avidya. And because of which the Atma itself is taken as though it is thinking, as though it is playing and all that. It is doing things, activities. But then again it was shown that this Atma does not really have any connection. Whatever is happening only in the Upadhi. So that was what was shown finally, correct? Asangohi ayam purushaha. Okay. And this asangatvam also was established by showing that whatever I do in the Jagrat, it does not get into my Swapna. And whatever is there in the Swapna does not, I don't carry it. Ananvagataha, like that one word was used, interestingly. So it was shown that since this Atma is the one, this Purusha is the one who undergoes these states of experiences, but whatever is there in each state, it remains there. Therefore, the state itself is not the reality because they come and go. And I don't carry anything with me also from that state to the other state. If I am only the waker, if waker is my reality, then I cannot go into dream by completely giving up my waking identity. That is the idea here. Since we assume a new identity in the dream, we leave everything in the waking itself and go into dream and take a new identity. That also we leave, we can go into sleep again come into dream, again we go into waking. Like this, these three states of experiences are taken, and from that it is shown that Atma is not really connected to any of these things. Atma is free from kama and karma. Kama karma asangatvam is actually shown here, and this is the thing here. That asangohi ayam purusha is a very important statement. This is actually quoted by Bhashyakara everywhere also. And by showing this, this Atma is shown as asamsari, correct? Atma is not connected to any of these activities or any sukha, dukkhadi, whatever is happening here. It's actually unconnected to any of these things. In fact, to take it as sukha dukkhi itself is avidya. So now that is what is going to continue now. Now an analogy is being given, because this Atma goes from one state to another, but it, it is actually unconnected to any of that. In fact, two analogies are going to be given for that. So we'll see that Bhashyakara is also giving an introduction to that here now, to the 18th. Evam ayam purushaha atma swayam jyotihi karyakarana vilakshanaha tat prayojakaabhyam kamakarbabhyam karmabhyam vilakshanaha. So now this is what I said already. So in this manner, Bhashyakara says, this Purusha, this Atma, which is Swayam Jyotihi, it is separate from Karya and Karana, which is the body, mind, sense complex. So Karya Karana Sanghata Vilakshanaha, and also the Karya Karana Sanghata itself, how did you get it? Means the cause for that is your karma only, correct? And karma is caused by having kama, etc. Avidya, kama, karma, like that only we give the progression, correct? So even these things are all there. This your own body, mind, sense complex is there due to kama and karma, and avidya is shown as even free from that. Okay, so it was shown as free from the karma. Whatever karma you did in the waking, you are free from that in dream. And in dream also, you have some whatever karma and all, but if you go into deep sleep, even you are free from that. There is no karma, there is no karma in deep sleep. So like this, you were shown that it was shown that the self is free. It is not connected in any way with karma or karma and its effects, which is the body, mind, sense complex. So why or how is it free means because yasmat asangaha hi ayam purushaha, because this purusha is really not connected to anything. It is unconnected, unrelated. It is asangaha. So asangatvat, because it is asanga. Iti ayam arthaha. So sava yesha etasmin samprasade ityadi ityad itya ityadhyabhihi tisribihi kandikabihi pratipaditaha. So this Atma is Asanga. It was shown in the previous three from starting from 15 onwards, correct? 15, 16, 17, it was mainly discussed and it was shown that this Atma is free from all these things and it is not in any way connected. The Samprasade means in this deep sleep. By showing the deep sleep only, we can also understand that we are not really connected to anything. So in the previous three, Kandika means you can take it as paragraph or section. It was revealed that Atma is Asanga. Tatra Asangata eva Atmanaha kutaha. How can Atma be Asanga? Okay. This also if you ask, because yasmat jagaritat swapnam, swapnacha samprasadam, samprasadcha punaha swapnam, kramena buddhantam jagaritam, buddhantacha punaha swapnantam, ityevam anukrama sancharena sthanatrayasya vyatirekah sadhitaha. So, if any one of these states, like Jagrat is your very nature, you cannot be going from one to the other, correct? The states themselves are changing all the time, but you, as the cognizer of that, you are the invariable. As the conscious being, you are there in all the states as the invariable. Therefore, from this only we understand, correct? So you go from Jagrat to Swapnam, Swapnam to sleep. Correct? That's what he is saying. Because you Jagritat, Swapnam, Swapna cha Samprasadam. Samprasadam is deep sleep. Again, Samprasada cha Punaha Swapnam. Again, you come back to dream. And again, from there, you Buddhantam means you come back to Jagrat, Jagaritam. Again, here again, the Antam word is used in the meaning of a state. Okay, that also you have to understand. Jagarita Antam, Swapnantam and all is used in the meaning of state. So in this krama, and again from Buddha, from waking to Swapna like this, you keep going again and again. In this manner, what? Anukramana Sancharena means you go from one to the other. Sthanatrayasya Vyatirekaha, you are other than the three states. Okay, so, and you are also other than the waker, dreamer, and the sleeper. Because all these things are really only for the mind. When the mind is fully awake, it is waking. When the mind is partially awake, it is dream. When the mind is resolved, then it is sleep. So all these things are really with reference to the mind, and we are projecting it onto ourselves, which is Atma is always awake. In fact, it is Alupta Drik. So that's what one has to understand, and it is Asangaha. So this has been established. Purvamapi upanyastha emartha. This has been already also talked about, correct? Swapno bhutva imam lokam atikramati mrityoho rupani. So in the 437 itself, it was said that from waking, if one when one goes to the dream itself, we are transcending the waking identity and waking body, mind, sense complex and all that, correct? That is what is called Mrityoho Rupani. Mrityoho Rupani is nothing but this body, mind, sense complex only. Bhashyakara explained there. So we transcend that. So we transcend all the names and forms, and that is the Swarupa of Atma. This was already talked about. So that was now described in the previous few paragraphs. It was described in more detail. That's what she's saying. Tam vistarena pratipadya. So having shown that in a detailed manner, kevalam drishtanta matram avashishtam. Only the drishtanta is now pending. Okay, no analogy or an example has been given to actually make you assimilate this teaching. So tad vakshyami iti arabhyate. So to show the drishtanta only, the next this 18 is starting. What is this? तद्यथा महामत्स्य उभे कूले अनुसंचरति पूर्वं च अपरं च एवं अयं पुरुषः एतौ उभौ अन्तौ अनुसंचरति स्वप्नान्तं च बुद्धान्तं च. So here this is called the Mahamatsya Drishtanta. It is the Drishtanta of the great fish. So like even a great fish goes from one here what Purvam cha Aparancha. Purvam means you can take it as east, Aparam is west. So there is a river which is flowing, okay, from north to south, and it has a eastern bank and a western bank, and there is a great fish. It is moving from one bank to the other, or sometimes it is there in the middle of the river, let us say. So this fish itself is unaffected by the flow of the water. That's why it is a great fish. Okay, it's able to swim without being affected by the current. And even though it goes towards the banks, it is not really connected to the banks or anything, right? For example, if there is a house on the bank or there is a tree or something, they are all stuck there. The tree cannot go anywhere. But this fish is not like that. Fish goes near the eastern bank, and then for some time it is there, then it comes to the middle, again it goes to the western bank, let us say. Now these banks are all like the Swapna and Jagarita, correct? The waking and dream, those are the two banks, and in between, middle of that is, we can take it as the Samprasada, the deep sleep state kind of thing. So that is the analogy given here. So evam ubhau antau anusancharati means it goes from one state to the other, but it is not affected by any of that. Okay. So that is the analogy here, the Maha Matsya Drishtanta. So Bhashyakara, tatra tatra etasmin yatha pradarshite arte drishtantaha ayam upadiyate. So the drishtanta upadiyate means it is offered. So this example is offered with reference to this whatever which was discussed now, the subject matter. Yatha loke mahamatsyaha mahancha asau matsyaha cha. So this is a Bhashyakara is giving the vigraha for the samasa. It is great and it is fish, correct? So that is mahancha asau matsyaha mahamatsyaha. Nadeyena srotasa. Nadeyena means this nadi. This is the tadita of nadi with the an becomes nadeya, means of the river. So here srotasa means the flow, correct? The flow of water of the river. Aharya ityarthaha. Aharya means aharya. One meaning of aharya is a mountain also can be called aharya. Means here means it is not swayed by or it is not disturbed by the current, correct? It is able to swim as though it is still water. We cannot do that. A great fish can actually do that, or it can even swim against the current easily. So, aharya ityarthaha mahamatsyaha nadeyena srotasa aharya. Srotascha vishtambhayati. Not only that, it can even it can stem the flow or it can go against the flow also. Okay. So Swachhandachari means it can go anywhere it wants to in the river. So it is capable of that. And so what does it do? Ube kule nadyaha purvam cha parancha anukramena sanchariti. So both sides, both banks of the nadi, the eastern and western, it goes from one to the other. Sancharan napi kuladvayam tan madhyavartina udakasrota vegena na paravashi kriyate. So even though it is going from one bank to the other, and also in between there is a lot of flow of water, correct? But it is not affected or it is not overpowered by the flow of that water, that vega. Forcefully it is flowing, let us say, even then it is not paravashi kriyate means it is not overpowered by that. So it is able to go from one bank to the other and freely it is able to move around. Evam eva ayam purushaha etau ubhau antau anusancharati. So similarly, this purusha, like this great fish, of course, the purusha really does not move like the fish. That also we have to understand. Okay, it is all eva only. Because we are only superimposing the activity of the upadhi on the purusha. So here purusha means vijnana mayaha. Okay, we have to take it as the upahita chaitanya only. So this purusha who is conditioned by the conditioning factors, the conditioned purusha also similarly what goes from one state to the other. So what are they? What are those two states? Swapnantam cha buddhancha, dream and waking. So drishtanta pradashna palam tu. So what is the purpose of showing this analogy or example? This is what is that Bhashyakara is explaining. Mrityu rupaha karyakarana sanghataha saha tat prayojakaabhyam kamakarmabhyam anatma dharmaha. So whatever the Mrityu Rupa, which is this Karyakarana Sanghata, the body mind sense complex, and along with that, whatever is the cause of this, correct? Whatever has made this body mind sense complex come here, which is the Kama and Karma, they are all Anatma Dharma, they are not connected to the Purusha, because Purusha itself is Asangaha, correct? Like even this great fish, this Karyakarana Sangata and all is in the analogy we have to take it as the banks. But the fish itself may go near the bank, but it is not connected to the bank or anything. Correct? Like that, we are in this waking state, then we have an identity with this body mind sense complex. But then you go to some other state, this identity is gone totally. So because of that only we can understand this body mind sense complex is anatma. It is all anatma dharma. And this Atma is separate from that. Ayam cha Atma, etasmad vilakshanaha. This Atma is separate, different from all these things. Iti vistarataha vyakhyatam. This has been now explained in detail. Okay, now continuing what? Atra cha sthanatraya anusancharena swayam jyotishaha atmanaha Karya-karana sanghata vyatiriktasya kama-karmabhyam vivikta ukta. Okay, so here this Purusha, which is Swayam Jyotis and which is Atma, and the one who is going to all these three states, correct? And this one is Karya Karana Sangata Vyatirikta. It is separate from the body mind sense complex, and it is also separate from the Kama and Karma, which are the Prayojaka of that. This has been said. Again, Swataha Nayam Samsara Dharmavan, it does not have any samsara. Okay, samsara and all is again only Upadhikrita, and that's he is saying, in fact, Upadhi Nimittamevatu Asya Samsaritvam Avidya Adhyaropitam. So it has been superimposed by avidya. It is all only due to upadhi. There in this Atma itself, by itself, it is Sachidananda Swarupa only. It is Swayam Jyotis. Swata Siddhaha Swaprakasha Atma, and it doesn't have any samsaritvam. Ityeshaha Samudayarthaha Uktaha. So this has been now said as an entire, the meaning of the Samudayarthaha means whatever has been, we have been talking about here, this entire section or Brahmana itself is showing that only to us, that this Atma is asamsari. Samsaritvam is only avidya adhyaropitam. It is all upadhi nimittam. And in this what tatracha jagrat swapna shushupta sthananam trayanam viprakirna rupaha uktaha na panjikritya ekatra darshitaha. So this jagrat swapna shushupta, all these three states, they are there, they were shown separately, correct? And how Atma is in all this, but all these things in one place, okay, it has not been shown, he is saying. This Atma Swarupa with all these three states mentioned, and what happens there, and how this Atma is really free from this Jagrat and Swapna, etc. It has not been shown in a single place. Now, to show that only, now the next analogy is going to be given, he is saying. Okay. So, that is the one we are going to see. This 18th one is the analogy of a bird. Whatever analogy we saw previously is of the fish, correct? So, the fish analogy we we already saw. Now the bird, the whatever, the falcon or the eagle analogy also is given here. That is the next one. Okay, so we will be seeing that. So separately all these things have been talked about, but they have not been shown together. That's what he is saying. To show it in one place, this next analogy will be given. So yasmat jagarite sasangaha samrityuhu sakarya karana sangataha upalakshyate avidyaya स्वप्ने तु काम संयुक्तः मृत्युरूप विनिर्मुक्तः उपलभ्यते सुषुप्ते पुनः संप्रसन्नः असंगः भवति इति असंगतापि दृश्यते. So because what in the waking we are with contact with everything, with the external objects and all that, and also we are with this body mind sense complex, we have an identity with that. So the waking state is characterized by all these things, correct? And again, this itself is due to avidya. Avidyaya upalakshyate. This sasangaha, samrityu, sakarya karana sangata and all is only due to avidya. Okay. And in swapna also, what you are connected to your kama, yatha kamam and all we saw. So as per your desire, you go wherever in swapna, and there you are actually free from this waking body mind sense complex. So mrityu rupa vinirmuktaha upalabhyate. So there in Swapna you are only enjoying. You are not creating any new karma. And in Sushupti you are not connected to anything. Samprasannaha, you are completely resolved. Asangaha bhavati iti asangatapi drishyate. So the asangata also is being shown in this analogy. So eka vakyataya tu upasamhriyamanam phalam nitya mukta buddha shuddha swabhavatasya न एकत्र पुंजीकृत्य प्रदर्शिता इति तत् प्रदर्शनाय कंडिका आरभ्यते. So now these three things we talked about already, and then these things now are being talked about in one Vakya, he is saying now. In the next Vakya, whatever is coming, Vakyataya tu upasamriyamanam phalam. So by concluding, in fact, this whole section or this topic is being concluded now in one Vakya by showing an analogy also. And what is the purpose of that? To show this Atma is already Nitya Mukta Buddha Shuddha Swabhava. Swabhavata is there for this Atma. Okay, Asya means this Atma is Nitya. It is not subjected to space-time limitations, correct? It is already free because it is also not connected to anything. And it is Buddha. Buddha Swabhava means it is always conscious. It really does not sleep or wake up or anything. It is always the same. Its nature never changes. It is Alupta Drik, like I told you. It is Buddha Swabhavaha. And it is also pure. Pure in the sense that it does not get, it's not like it gets tainted and again you have to purify it or anything. It is not subjected to any impurity at all. It cannot be subjected to any impurity because it is Asanga again. So from Asangata only the Shuddhata and all is implied. So that is the nature of this Atma. It is not tainted by any karma or kama or anything. It is free from all that. It is always pure. It is always conscious. It is always free. And it transcends space, time, and all the limitations and all that. It is eternal. That is the nature of this Atma. And that is now being, and it has not been shown in one place to show that only this is being started, he is saying. Tat Pradarshanaya Kandika Arabhyate. This paragraph or section is being started. Sushuptehi evam rupata asya vakshyamana. And again, in this kind of a thing is there in sleep also, but it is temporary. In the sleep, the avidya bija is still there, so you get up. Just by going to sleep, you don't become a mukta purusha. But during sleep, everybody is mukta only. Jivan mukta, you can say. So everybody is really Jivan Mukta because assuming that one third of your life at least you are sleeping, one third of your life you are Jivan Mukta because in sleep you don't have any worries of waking or dream. You are completely free. It is very also it is what it is a desirable state, correct? That's why everybody wants to sleep well. Nobody goes to doctor and say I am getting good sleep. Doctor, please help me. Everybody goes to doctor for sleeping pills actually. If you don't get sleep only, it's a problem. So that is going to be said further in 21 also. Tadva asya etad ichanda, etad atichanda, apahata papma, abhayam rupam. So this in sleep one does not have any papa, correct? And also it is, you don't have any fear or anything in sleep, correct? So in sleep, one is free from all this. One is beyond one's desires and free from all papa and also fearless. Correct? So atichanda means you are transcending all your desires and all that. And apahata papa means again you don't have any papa. You are free from that and you are fearless abhayam. So that's what you are in sleep anyway. At least temporarily everybody is like that. So yasmat evam rupam vilakshanam sushuptam pravivikshati tat katham iti aha. So this kind of this sleep has to be or whatever this sleep which is separate, correct, from all this, free from this desire and papa and fear etc. has to be shown. And that how is that you are free from all that is now being is going to be shown here. Okay, so this next whatever is going to come, it is it is going to be showing you this comprehensive view. That's what is going to come. Okay, so this meaning all these things will become easier for you to understand if there is a drishtanta, correct? So that's why Bhashyakara is saying now drishtantena asya arthasya prakati bhavaha bhavati iti tatra drishtantaha upadiyate. So this drishtanta is offered because through a drishtanta this meaning can be easily assimilated by you or it can be shown to you easily. Therefore, the Drishtanta is going to come. So that we'll see. Tad yatha अस्मिन् आकाशे शेनः वा सुपर्णो वा विपरीपत्य श्रान्तः संहत्य पक्षौ संलयाय एव ध्रियते एवमेव अयं पुरुष एतस्मा अन्ताय धावति यत्र सुप्तो न कंचन कामं कामयते न कंचन स्वप्नं पश्यति. So this analogy is now given like even in the akasha. Bhashyakara will say bhautike means Akasha has been used in this Upanishad in many meanings. Understand that Akasha word came even in the third chapter also, if you remember. I don't know whether you remember now. So, but here it is the physical Akasha in which the bird is moving. Shenaha. Shenaha is a hawk or an eagle. Suparna means that which flies faster, Bhashyakara says. Okay. So this bird, Viparipatya means what? It is flying all over. It is going, it is flying from one place to another, and then it becomes tired because in search of food, prey, it is flying all over the place. Then it is tired. And then what? What does it do? Now it wants to relax. It wants to free itself from all the whatever tiredness. Therefore, samlaya means samyak liyate asmin, like that Bhashyakara will give the meaning, where you resolve nicely, you rest. That is the nida or the nest. Nest is called samlaya here, so it goes towards the nest, and then there it is resting. Okay, so in fact, it is by itself, it rests, it is free from all the whatever tiresome activity it did. That is what is called driyate. In the same manner, what evam eva ayam purushaha etasmat antaya dhavati means antaya here again. Anta is the state. The swapna anta and jagrita anta only is talked about here. The jagrat and swapna, whatever activities we do, we are also tired of that. All this sukha dukkha you experience and you become tired. Therefore, you want to run away from that dhavati. And where do you go? What is the most desirable? Suptaha. You want to sleep. You want to get into sleep. Why? Because there na kanchana kamam kamayate. There is no desire there which you are desiring. So kanchana means, by saying kanchana, all desires are negated. Okay, now there is no any, like that. Kanchana means there any desire is not there. Even a little bit is not there. Similarly, na kanchana swapnam pashyati, you don't see anything at all. Okay, you don't see anything. No, you don't see anything, you don't desire anything, and that's where you want to rest. That is your resting place. So, like even the eagle, after flying all over, has to go to its nest. Like that, even after experiencing everything in waking and dream, you want to rest in your own Swarupa, which is like a nest for you, and that is where you are. That is your Atma Swarupa. There you don't have anything, no kama. You don't see any other thing also. Only if you see something other than yourself, you can have fear or you can have desire and all that. There is no other thing there. Therefore, you are free. So let us see the Bhashya. Tad yatha asmin akashe bhautike shenaha va suparnaha va suparna shabdena kshipraha shena uchyate. So asmin akashe means what? Bhautike Bhashyakara says the physical space here. In that what? Shenaha va suparnaha va. Shena is one bird, hawk or eagle. Suparna also is like that only, but Bhashyakara has to differentiate. So he says Suparna Shabdena Kshipraha Shena Uchete means what? The one which flies faster. That is the Suparna. And what do they do? Yatha Akashe Asmin Vihritya Viparipatya. Viparipatya means flying around. Vihritya means roaming. Bhashyakara says it roams around here and there, flying. all over the place. Then what happens? Shrantaha becomes tired. So nana paripatana lakshanena karmana parikhinnaha. That's what Shrantaha is explaining by going to different places, flying to different places and all that, and by that activity it is tired. Parikhinnaha. Samhatya pakshau sangamaya samprasarya pakshau. Then it goes towards, okay, being tired, it has to go towards its nest, correct? Samlaya. So it is going towards the uh, the sleep or its own nest, correct? Wherever it can get perfect rest. That's why it is called samlaya. So it directs itself towards that, or it is going towards that. So samhatya pakshau sangamaya samprasarya means again towards a place where you can rest. So samyak liyate asmin iti samlayaha, where you can take perfect rest or good rest, uh, where you are completely free and resolved. That is samlaya, which is the nidaha, which is the rest. Nidaya, so it goes towards the nest. Dhriyate, and there it is, resting. And how? Swatmana eva dharyate swayameva. So it is there in its own uh, place without any other craving or desire, or it is not bound by anything. Okay, it is not undertaking any flight or anything, no activity. So it is there by itself where it has perfect rest. So it is going and resting there. Dhriyate, by itself without anything else. That is the idea. Swatmana eva means swayameva, by itself. And this is the drishtanta, correct? Yatha ayam drishtanta, like this bird. Evame I am purushaha. This purusha, this vijnanamaya purusha also, in this same manner, what happens? Yetasmai only has become yetasma there. Antaya dhavati. Means antaya means what? Antas shabda vachyasya visheshanam. Yatra yasmin ante suptaha na kanchana na kanchidapi kamam kamayate tatha na kanchana swapnam pashyati. So this anta shabda is again the state, and for that also the visheshana is given then. Okay, it goes to a particular state. From this state it is going, and to a particular state it is going. From this swapna and jagarat it is running towards another state. And what is the visheshanam for that? The qualification for that is what? In that state, which is suptaha ante, na kanchana, na kanchidapi, kamam kamayate, it does not desire anything, or it does not see. Na kanchana swapnam pashyati, it does not see anything also. And Bhashyakara says, na kanchana kamam iti, swapna buddhantayoho avisheshena sarvaha kamaha pratishidyate. By having this kanchana, not any, by saying that what? In Swapna and in Jagrat, whatever kama, etc. is there, all of them without any condition, unconditionally, all of them are negated. This Atma does not have any kama. That is its nature. Whatever you have in the deep sleep alone is your true nature. And again, Kanchana iti avisheshita abhidhana means this Kanchana comes without any qualification and all that. That means any means it basically negates everything. Tatha na kanchana swapnam iti. Similarly, kanchana swapnam also. Jagarite api yad darshanam tadapi swapnam manyate shrutihi. And also by saying kanchana na swapnam pashyati, swapna is used for both jagrat and swapna here. That also the Shruti is trying to. So when you say you don't see any dreams in deep sleep, that dream includes waking also. Bhashyakara says the word swapna has been used for all three states also. That he is going to quote now. In Aitareya Upanishad it is there. So Shruti is considering Jagrat also like swapna only, therefore it is using the same swapna word. Okay. So ataha aha na kanchana swapnam pashyati tatha cha shrutyantaram he says. So by saying he does not see any dreams, even both the dream and waking is included, and that is also said in another shruti. Tasya traya avasthaha trayaha avasthaha trayaha swapnaha. So it has three states, and all three states are called as swapnaha only by the Aitareya Upanishad. So that also is trying to teach you something. Okay, it's all waking also is as unreal as the dream only, although we somehow take it as more real. So yata drishtante pakshinaha परिपतनज श्रम अपनुत्तये स्वनीड उपसर्पणम एवं जागृत स्वप्नयोः कार्यकरण संयोगज क्रियाफलैः संयुज्यमानस्य पक्षिणः परिपतनज इव श्रमः भवति. So like in the drishtanta, the bird pakshi, for the bird what happens? Paripatana ja shrama means what? By flying here and there, it is now having the some tiredness is there, correct? It is produced. The tiring activity, whatever it did, because of that, what, to get rid of that apanuttaye swanida upasarpana means it approaches its own nest, it goes towards its nest. Similarly, evam, in this manner, whatever jagrat swapna yoho, in the jagrat and swapna, karya karana sanyogaja kriya phalaihi means whatever kriya phala you are enjoying due to having this connection with your karya and karana, with your body mind sense complex, and you are connected to all that. Sanyujyamanasya phalaihi pakshinaha paripatanaja iva. So like how the bird becomes tired by flying, similarly you are tired of experiencing all these things in waking and dream. So there is a shrama is there of that, he is saying. The very experiences after some time becomes tiring. Shramaha bhavati. Tat shrama apanuttaye swatmanaha needam ayatanam sarva samsara dharma vilakshanam sarva kriyakaraka phala ayasa shunyam swam atmanam pravishati. So to get rid of this tiring or tiredness, what? Tat shrama apanuttaye swatmanaha needam, one's own nest. What is one's own nest for us? This our refuge ayatanam is what? Sarva samsara dharma vilakshanam, that which is free from all samsara dharma, and that is also free from all activities and factors of action, etc. Kriya karaka phala, and also the results of action, all these things, and also the ayasa, the tiredness which is born of all these things, it is free from all that. Ayasa shunyam, which is nothing but oneself. Swatmanam, one's own swarupa, we enter in deep sleep. So that is the analogy here. So by this, what is shown is one Swarupa is free from all the samsara dharmas. One is always Nitya Mukta Buddha Shuddha Swabhava, like Bhashyakara put it in the introduction. That is one's nature. These things are all only due to false identification. It is all only due to avidya. Avidyaya only all these things are there. Whatever we take ourselves, Sukha Dukkhadi, Samsaritvam and all, and that's what he is going to now. The next, he is giving an introduction. So, yadi asya ayam swabhavaha sarva samsara dharma shunyata para upadhi nimittam cha asya samsara dharmitvam yan nimittam cha asya para upadhi kritam samsari dharmitvam. So he is saying, so if my swabhava is because there can always be a doubt, correct? In fact, see, there is jagrat, there is swapna, there is deep sleep. Now, why the sleep alone should be taken as your Swarupa? Why can't Jagrat, where Samsaritvam is there, even dream also Samsaritvam is there? That why can't that be your Swarupa? In fact, if you count, if you see majority, then two states are there where Samsaritvam is there. Only in deep sleep there is no Samsaritvam. How can you say that is your nature? Means why in sleep, whatever our nature is, why that should be our nature? Because Whatever you are in sleep, that does not change in Jagrat and Swapna also, correct? In sleep, you are a conscious being. In waking also, you are a conscious being. In dream also, you are a conscious being. But only thing is, now you are conscious of the waking state and the conscious of the dream state. And in sleep, there is nothing else to be conscious of. Therefore, whatever comes and goes cannot be as part of your nature, correct? This is what Bhashyakara argues this even in the Taittiriya Upanishad also. There is a very beautiful passage in the Bhashya or a part of Bhashya where the same thing he argues there also. Uh, so, how can you say that sleep is your nature? Why can't samsaritvam be your nature? Means samsaritvam comes and goes. But your nature of being a conscious entity who is not in really in connection with any of these things and who is free from even space time, etc., that is your real nature. That continues even when you are awake. But only thing is, due to false identification, you are not aware of that, but you are still a conscious being only, correct? That you are a conscious being, nobody can negate. You are the same conscious being in waking, the same conscious being in dream, and the same conscious being even when the mind has resolved and there is sleep state. Therefore, that alone is the reality. You are not connected to any duality or all this, whatever causes samsara. That's what he is going to explain now. So, if you are free from all this samsara dharma shunyata is your swabhava, correct? And even samsara dharmitvam also, how does it come? Para upadhi nimittancha asya samsara dharmitvam, because of the conditioning factors, the upadhi. But the upadhi itself, how do you get this para samsara dharmitvam because of the upadhi means? See, yannimittam cha asya para upadhi kritam samsara dharmitvam. Why did you get conditioned by all these conditioned factors? Means that is only due to avidya, sacha avidya. That is purely ignorance. That identity is born of ignorance only. Tasyaha avidyayaha kim swabhavikatvam. But what is the nature of this avidya? No, we want to know, correct? Because we say everything is due to avidya, avidya, avidyaya. You have this upadhi dharmitvam. Whatever upadhi krita dharmitvam is there, samsara dharmitvam, it's all avidya. Means what is the nature of this avidya? Okay. Now, if this avidya itself, if it is your nature, what happens then? You cannot get rid of the avidya. Whether it is something which is transient or adventitious and all they use in English sometimes the word. Okay. Something which is not really part of you, correct? Adventitious roots and all we even study in biology, I think. So ahosvit kama karma adivat agantukatvam yedi cha agantukatvam tataha vimokshaha upapadyate. Bhashyakara says it is swabhavika. This avidya itself is your surupa, or ahosvit kama karma adivat agantukatvam is there for that avidyayaha. So for this avidya itself is your very nature, or it is something which comes and goes, which is transient, like even kama and karma, which we have shown already, correct? This purusha is asanga with reference to kama and karma. But what about avidya? Only if avidya also is transient, moksha is possible. Okay, tasyascha agantukatve ka upapattihi. So if it is also transient, how do we understand that? What is the logic or upapatti for that? Katham va na atma dharmaha avidya. How can this avidya not be one's own atma dharma? All these things one has to understand, correct? Because this avidya is the sarva anartha bija bhuta, he says. All the undesirables, everything for that, the seed is this avidya only. Ignorance is the seed of samsara. Avidya, kama, karma, like that only the progression, correct? We always talk about that. So, sarva anartha bija bhutayaha, avidyayaha, satatva avadharanartham, parakandika arabhyate. So, the next paragraph section is being started for what purpose? To determine what is the reality of this avidya, what is its nature. To understand that, we are going to start this. Okay, this we will see next week. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
ओम
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ
Thank you.